going to be doing a very simple briani, which is a mixture of vegetables as well as rice to give us an Indian dish called a briani. Now guys, I just want to let you know this is a very nostalgic meal that I am doing because it reminds me of my mom in many ways, in that she took this and made it a very delightful dish. Right now I'm doing the pre-work for making the briani, which is simple potatoes cut in cubes and just fried so we can start the cooking process. In addition to the pre-work, I also had some Nutella, which is also known as soya chunks, just soaked with some, added some salt and pepper just to give it some flavor, and some hot sauce to make it spicy, because these little chunks are actually tasteless on its own. These are soy products, and I soaked it for about a minute or two so it swells and absorbs the spices that I had put in. Drained, squeezed, and just fried in a little oil so it gets that crispy brown look you can see here. Alright, so pre-work has been done, which is fried potatoes, half cooked, and the Nutella chunks, which is also soy chunks. So what I need here is some whole spices, green beans, some cabbage cut into pieces, and some lentils. Once again, that lentils is definitely optional, not needed. Mixed vegetable, basic needs for cooking, onions, tomatoes, and I've pre-fried the potatoes to make the cooking process go further, as well as Nutella, which is chunks. So step one is we're going to start putting the onions into the pan to cook. Okay, in a medium skillet, we're going to put our onions in with some hot oil. You know your onions, if the oil is hot, is when you put it in and you get an instant sizzle. Then we're going to put our whole spices, which is a very intricate part of the biryani. Whole spices is important, and it's also a very basic Indian cooking step. Turmeric, we'll use about a teaspoon of that. I'm going to use about 2 to 3 cinnamon stick. We can throw in a green chilies if you want to. Anise seeds, star anise seeds, some black cardamom. We're going to use some garam masala, about half a teaspoon. 2 teaspoons of mustard seeds, and 2 teaspoons of jeera. And also optional is an ilachi, which nobody likes to bite in a biryani. The good thing is you can actually break it and then put it in so it releases the flavor. You can put it in whole. Give it a good mix and let it cook for a few minutes. See, all the colors are blending in, spices are cooking, and the onion, which is most important, is getting translucent. So the onions have been cooking for a good 5 minutes, and now you can see it's light brown and it's very translucent. So you don't want to let this cook too much longer, because it will start burning, and that will change the whole color and texture of the biryani. Once that's ready, we're going to throw in our Indian spice, which is called masala. You can get it at any Indian store. You can use chili paste, or you can also use paprika for those that don't have this at home. All right, so it depends also, once again, how spicy you want it, and that will determine the quantity of spice you put in there. Give that a good stir. Let it cook in let all the spices cook together. And as it's cooking, you will see it's bubbling, but it's important. This is an important step because the spices needs to cook. If not, you'll have a very raw and a couchy taste. Once again, as I said, this is very nostalgic for me, only because it reminds me of my mom and the days that she should make this on a Tuesday, every Tuesday without fail. And she called it the quick shortcut biryani. And it was definitely quick. Now I'm going to add tomatoes. as well as a bay leaf and curry leaf as well to this step. Mix it all in. And we're going to cover it for a few minutes and let all those spices absorb together and blend in. Wow, look at that, guys. You can see the cooking process is so much deeper now. You can see the oil is separating from the spices and your tomatoes have cooked down. What I also do is I will add in about a cooking spoon, maybe a chef spoon or two of tomato sauce or tomato gravy. Let that cook in as well. Mix it up because you want to have, tomato gives you a lot of sauce, so it makes the biryani moisture. Let that cook for a minute. I'm sure that you guys are missing my daughter. She hasn't made a video, so I figured, hey, let me do a video and also post something. So this has been cooking for a few minutes and you can see the water has drained out, oil separated. It's becoming a thicker consistency. Now the trick is when you're cooking this, you can also add in water if you feel it's burning. Okay, now as I said, it's a vegetable biryani, and what we're going to do is find whatever vegetables you have to throw into this. Now I have some peas, which I'm going to put it in, peas and some red beans. And the idea is to put in the vegetables that take longer to cook first. And then I also had some green beans that I cut into small little pieces and I'm putting it in. Right. Give that a good mix. Also, people, what they do is they also put in yogurt at this stage. Yogurt gives it more sauce. Now I'm also going to be putting in my Nutella, which I told you has been soaked and fried prior to this, and I'm adding this. Disclosure, I'm the only one in my family that likes this, so that's all for me. I'm putting it in here again because it will soak up all the flavors. And then if you need, you can just add a little bit water. Guys, it's smelling so good. All right, last of all, I'm going to put in my frozen peas and carrots. Good way to make sure we're getting all our vegetables in. See right there, that bulks up this entire meal. We're going to let that cover and cook for 5 minutes. Alright, now it's been cooking for a while and I missed the step where I cut in the mushrooms because my family loves in mushrooms. Put that in because now mushrooms and cabbage is very quick cooking vegetable, so we add that in last. Give it a good old stir. To this, I'm going to add in some salt. Now, once again, salt is for flavor and how much your family wants for each salt. Just remember that I'm putting a little extra only because there's going to be rice that's going to be added to this dish. Once again, give it a good stir. And the base of the biryani is done. Right? Now, what comes in is the layering. As I said, lentils is optional in the biryani, and this was all washed, soaked, and boiled prior to that. Now I'm going to add in the potatoes that were washed before and fried. Okay. And last of all, we're going to add our rice that has been washed, soaked into this. Okay, with some water. Feel free to use your hands. Move it around. Now, what's going to happen is that the rice is going to cook from the steam, and that's how the layers will be cooking. So it'll be the vegetables first, then the potatoes, and then the steam will cook the rice. And we leave it covered for about 15 minutes and let it cook in its steam. Alright guys, this has been cooking now for 10 minutes, and then I put the stove off and then let it cook in its own steam. It's important that rice cooks in its own steam without getting burnt. You guys are ready for the end product? And here we go. Wow. Look, cooked in its own steam, cooked all the way to the bottom. And you can see how the flavors come up and the color of the rice has changed. Perfect. Now we're ready to plate. So you gotta dig from the bottom, only because you need all the vegetables to come up. And there we go. Everybody's favorite, a potato. Get more of that vegetable. And there you have it, a quick and easy biryani.